Nice day to all of you viewers of Equinoxe television. It's 6 p.m. in Douala and it's time for the news. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Our major stories this evening is sad Thursday in Buea in the southwest region as at least 4 persons tragically lost their lives today in a fatal road accident which happened. The accident happened after a collision between a truck and another smaller vehicle. Teenagers who were in one of the affected cars also reportedly died in that accident. Security forces in Buea are investigating and our reporter Rex Arpon is on standby in Buea. He will be recounting to us what really happened and the state of the survivors in this news edition. From Buea down to Limbe, where inhabitants of My 4 today also went on a rampage blocking traffic. They are protesting against frequent blackouts which have several negative impacts on their social life and also on their economic activities. Those are our stories, viewers. Details and more in just a moment. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for the usual confidence. We begin this edition of the news on a rather sad note. We told you in the headlines that at least 4 persons have lost their lives in a road accident which happened in Buea that was earlier today, precisely at the Mile 17 Hill. Our reporter Rex Afon, who is in Buea, told us that the accident happened after a collision between 2 vehicles involving, including a truck and another smaller vehicle. Teenagers who were on board the smaller vehicle also died in that accident. Rex Afon is on standby in Buea.
17-year-old male Chris Noel Engwo, Tabby Blaise and Aslin Kenji, a 19-year-old female, have been confirmed dead following the road accident on the Mile 17 Hill in Buea at about 11 p.m. on Wednesday night.
Hey, Papa! Hey! It is the chef of the taxi! Why, Papa God?
This white vehicle, as you can see right behind me, was running at full speed and collided with the truck that had incurred some breakdown.
The 4th person who was in this vehicle, who is a female, is also said to have passed on following the accident, though this has not been fully confirmed. Onlookers say this white vehicle was at full speed coming from Mile 17, and before they could blink, it had crashed into the truck. In the vehicle is a uniform belonging to a student of one of the secondary schools in this area. Speeding has become increasingly common in Buea, and while such accidents are sadly not new, this one stands out for its deadly toll. The community is left mourning the loss of young lives as they confront yet another devastating reminder of the dangers of reckless driving.
Thank you, Rex. You told us that those who lost their lives their bodies have been deposited in the mortuary and the survivors are receiving medical attention in various hospitals around Buea, and our sincere condolences to the bereaved families and a quick recovery to those who are injured. Now to other human interest stories. This other one in Yaoundé, where a bar attendant and her colleagues have been detained by the police in Kouabang following the death of a 25-year-old in a nightclub. Preliminary police and medical analysis say he died during sexual intercourse with a female worker at the snack bar. He died in the office of the CEO. For me, Armstrong Sanda tells us more.
It was about 4 a.m. that the lifeless body of 25-year-old Christophe Nana, a part-time DJ at this snack bar in Oyomabang in Yaoundé, was discovered.
Je ne connais pas ce qui s'est passé. À 5 heures, je suis surpris que
the snack bar owner Stefan Kamden says he received a phone call at about 5 a.m. from a friend who intended to inform him of rumors that he, Kamden, was found dead in his office in the snack bar. That was when he decided to rush to the snack bar, only to discover Onana dead and naked in his office.
Des gens se retrouvent dans mon bureau.
Unable to receive concrete explanations from his manager and workers in charge, Camden says he immediately alerted security and administrative officials. Upon preliminary investigations, it was revealed that 25-year-old Christophe Onana died in the course of lovemaking with one of the female attendants in the structure. Workers confirmed that the two were seen in a full romantic mood throughout that night. For further investigations, the lady in question, alongside other workers present at the time, were arrested and detained by the police and Colbison. While on the scene of the incident, the divisional officer for the Yaoundé 7th subdivision ordered the closure of the snack bar, warning against the rising promiscuity, banditry and criminality in the area. He then called on the local population to maximize collaboration with administrative and security officials for a safe and secured neighborhood. While the lifeless body of Christopher Onana was being rushed to the mortuary, it remains unclear how he and the love partner got access into the CEO's office.
Over to Limbe now, where inhabitants of Mile 4 today went on a rampage blocking traffic that was around Mile 4 and its environs. The people are protesting against frequent blackouts which have, according to them, several negative impacts or consequences on their social lives and also their economic activities. Our reporter, Smadikan Gabriel, tells us more.
7 quarters in Limbe are suffering from light shortage. The inhabitants are protesting concerning this long-lasting situation. All the roads are blocked, making circulation difficult, only for their cry and shout to be heard by the government. Quarter 12, Quarter 13, Quarter 14, and many others in Mile 7 have been in the dark for over 1 year. The activities are unrest and students face difficulties to further their revisions.
For all of you, Quarter 11, Quarter 12, Quarter 13, all will never get live for the past 1 year now. So, we are the top players as that's why is so close. But now, for the past 1 year, I don't be able to where I think work. My minister, the Tontona pay this so. Why the Tontona is saying I pay? Because I work for them living. When not there, my feet to work. I don't be work. I get customer picking work or so. I don't be able to so. If you picking them, I don't know them on job. I never begin like candle. You put them on your head and sleep, they don't retire. You want to understand they don't fall on top of student legs. You keep picking up in a beginning, shout, shout, come on, Lord, maybe you have that for one because of life. So we don't let them say, we don't give you life, what we need in our life. We need our life, we don't give you life, we don't over.
The divisional officer of the locality was on the field to bring down tension by promising a new transformer by any on Saturday, 7 February 2026.
Tomorrow on Friday the 6th, Saturday the 7th, when I begin watch, you no go bring that transformer.
The population of Mile 4 are waiting for the promise of the divisional officer to be realized.
Lord Mayewu reporting, now over to this report by Smanjikan Gabriel, tells us that increasing insecurity in some villages of the Mayo Tanaga division of the Far North region has caused by Boko Haram has forced inhabitants to flee for safety to Mokolo. While in Mokolo town, an attempt for them to meet with the senior divisional officer failed, but they succeeded to meet with the Secretary General at the SDO's office, who has promised them some level of security.
They came from different villages in the Mayo-Tanaga division of the Far North region, amongst them Vuzot, Uva, Magumas and Wudai, all in Mokolo subdivision, and others from Ladima and Guzda from Koza subdivision. They are all having the same problem, which is that of insecurity caused by the rebel group Boko Haram. We came here because Boko Haram rebels are not leaving us a breathing space. So we came to seek for solutions. Even during the day, we are still threatened by them. All the 8 villages have been emptied because everyone has escaped. Amongst them are nursing mothers who are forced to sleep without shades. We came here because Boko Haram rebels sent us away from our homes. We don't know what else to do. We spend the night outside with our children. These people came to see the divisional officer to present their worries, but in the absence of the SDO, his Secretary General reassured them of their security, but they are not confident about the assurance. We are not yet assured because we do not even have hopes of any construction of a big camp anytime soon at any of the villages touched by Boko Haram.
Nos doléances, c'est de voir avec les autorités administratives comment faire.
As a result of the increasing insecurity, inhabitants of more than 7 villages have fled away from their villages to Mokolo town for safety, hoping that the administrative authorities will yield to their cry.
In other news, the first edition of the Regional Women's Entrepreneurship and Trade Fair began in Douala today under the theme Local Transformation and Value Addition, Strengthening Product Competitiveness in the Littoral and Southwest regions. The event is aimed at providing a dynamic platform for women entrepreneurs to present their initiatives and demonstrate their expertise and know-how in a sector where their representation remains really low. Cedric Chakutio reports.
Celebrated under the theme Local Transportation and Added Value, Boosting Product Competitiveness in the Littoral and Southwest regions, the city of Douala welcomed the first edition of the Regional Women's Entrepreneurship and Trade Fair, an event aimed at providing a dynamic platform for women entrepreneurs in the Littoral and Southwest regions so as to present their initiatives and showcase their expertise in a sector where their representation remains minimal.
Nous avons réussi à mobiliser les femmes de notre fédération au niveau du Sud-Ouest et nous sommes dans un carrefour de rencontres et d'échanges avec beaucoup d'idées, beaucoup d'innovations. Et pour nous, vraiment, c'est une très grosse plus-value.
This edition seeks to address numerous challenges faced by women entrepreneurs, including limited access to finance, inadequate training, insufficient market information, and persistent stereotype, particularly in the informal sector.
I'm facing many challenges. How? Firstly, you can have a product. Even before having a product, first of all, a way to make the product. It's not really easy. Why? Now we're having much customers. Now, to have a very huge quantity of product, it's not easy. Now, lack of finance.
Nous ne pouvons pas être dans les grandes surfaces, nous ne pouvons pas vendre dans la sous-région, nous ne pouvons non plus vendre sur tout le territoire national parce que nous sommes bloqués, nous n'avons pas de vignettes. Nous produisons quand même, c'est un vin made in Cameroon.
Sylvie Maché, Regional Delegate of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Crafts in the Littoral region, expressed her institution's support for the initiative.
Sur l'accompagnement des petites et moyennes entreprises, si on a souvent dit que qui nourrit son homme passe par la femme, si le développement passe par la femme, nous aurons atteint tout l'objectif.
She reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to backing the event, stating that
pour une compétitivité à l'échelle nationale et internationale, il faut toucher déjà la base, les femmes de la base.
The department is responsible for promoting women entrepreneurship, and she believes it is her duty to support this trade fair.
Agroalimentaire. Pour ce faire, le renforcement de capacité et de mise. Après cela, dans les différents thèmes, il y a l'accompagnement financier qui doit suivre.
With this initiative, the government understands the challenges women face and the essential contributions they make to Cameroon's development. However, they are confident that an event like this will empower women to overcome difficult conditions and enhance their livelihood.
And back to this other report, Equatorial Guinea and Cameroon will jointly exploit their border oil fields with the signing of a joint development agreement for the Yoyo-Yolanda project. The ceremony, presided over by the Vice President of Equatorial Guinea, Nguema Obiang Mange, took place at the People's Palace in Malabo. Cameroon's Interim Minister of Mines, Industries and Technological Development, Professor Foucault Gentry, signed for his country, Cameroon, and the other parties also signed for their countries. Babila Jonathan reports that the agreement is seen as a major step in the consolidation of bilateral relations and collaboration between both countries and a step further in sub-regional integration.
Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea have established a legal framework for the joint exploitation of natural resources cutting across the borders of both Central African nations. The agreement on the transboundary gas field located between the towns of Yoyo in Cameroon and Yolanda in Equatorial Guinea is seen as a milestone in bilateral relations. It was signed by Cameroon's Interim Minister of Mines, Industry and Technological Development, Professor Foucault Gentry, the Equatorial Guinean Minister of Hydrocarbons and Mining Development, Antonio Oburu-Ondo, and heads of hydrocarbon institutions of both countries in the presence of the Vice President of Equatorial Guinea, Nguema Obiang Mange.
El acuerdo que firmamos hoy.
The agreement we are signing today represents a historic step in a process of strategic cooperation between our two nations. Equatorial Guinea and Cameroon are two brotherly countries united by geography, history, culture, and more. With the signing of this agreement, the two countries are taking a further step towards consolidating a historic relationship of mutual benefit which strengthens regional stability and reinforces the trust so important between neighboring states. The success of this agreement demonstrates that sincere cooperation is the most direct path to the effective management of shared natural resources.
De recursos naturales compartidos.
Though the gas deposit is the subject of the unification agreement, authorities of both countries see the impact is far-reaching.
El campo Yoyo-Yolanda representa mucho más que un yacimiento de gas.
The Yoyo-Yolanda field represents much more than a gas deposit. It represents the institutional maturity of our state and the capacity to transform a transboundary geological challenge into a shared opportunity for prosperity, stability, and sustainable development. The Equatorial Guinean Vice President qualifies the agreement as a crucial step, coming after what he calls complex and rigorous negotiations. He adds that the agreement enables the rational and equitable management of the deposit in accordance with international standards, enhancing confidence among states and operators while preventing potential future disputes.
Now we take you to the Northwest region, where residents of Bambili in the Tuba subdivision have entered into a second day of protest over what they describe as non-respect of an injunction issued by the former senior divisional officer for the MESAM, Ngele Felix Ngele, that was over boundaries and land squabbles. They tabled their worry unsuccessfully at the MESAM SEO's office before moving to the governor's office. Bustela tells us more from Bamenda.
The disputed land, according to locals, is ancestral property passed down from their forefathers and has been used for farming for generations. They say farming activities were halted following the injunction order, but recent construction works by people from neighboring Queen have reignited tensions. Bambili residents accuse the administration of failing to enforce the court order and are now demanding that all construction on the land be stopped.
We, the Bambili people, are here because we had a land issue with the front of Nkwen and a certain General Tanga, General in quote. We came in to Bambili land and destroyed our homes. We came and complained to the SDO of Mezam. the SDO Mezam, Felin Gelengele, the former SDO, he came and put an injunction order there. The injunction order is still effective there. The Bambli people are respecting the injunction order, but the people are not respecting the injunction order. To our greatest surprise, there is a military camp there protecting Kwen people, and they are constructing on the same land with the injunction order. We have come out to cry that how can they put an injunction order and some people are respecting and some people are not respecting? Is it that the injunction order is only to the Bambli and not to Kwen? If the government is supporting Kwen than Bambli, they should tell us, let's know. These issues came out since 1972. We have court cases. There are cones there. People came and destroyed the cones in 1972. The government came up here. The High Court of Mezam issued a judgment, and the judgment is there, but people are not respecting.
Community members insist that the actions are peaceful and aimed at protecting their heritage and livelihoods.
Some people here don't have homes. Our children are no more going to school because they are raffia, grown up raffia that we used to tap and send children to school. Have money that send children to school, but none. You cannot go there again because of the injunction order.
We need a peace. We need to make peace for that place for we. We need a peace now. We need to come down, go move that people where they put them for that place. They don't be there, send them in their land. So show it where they want to show for you for that place. We get peace today. We know the deny man. We want that people them, but we need to make peace for that place. She don't find.
On Wednesday, February 4th, demonstrators blocked circulation along the main road into Bambili. Today, they marched to the SDO's office before proceeding to the governor's office to press their demands. Residents warn that unless authorities intervene urgently, the dispute could escalate, calling on government officials to act swiftly to restore calm and uphold the rule of law.
And now in health, we continue talking about the pathology cancer. Oncologists have emphasized their need to double effort in the fight against cancer that continues to threaten thousands of lives in Cameroon, projecting high costs of treatment, smoking, poor nutrition, and refusal to go for screening as some of the main reasons for death and high cancer prevalence in the country. The physicians urge the population to adopt good feeding habits and also go for screening as early as possible to save so many lives. They warn of late diagnosis which can complicate surgery and treatment. Innocent Aza spoke with Professor Muele Sone, an oncologist at the Cameroon Oncology Center in Bikoko, Douala. Let's now listen to him in this excerpt.
It's really bad, sad for us. It's really sad. But what I'll tell you is that, you know, people have evolved. In some of the long time ago, people thought that when somebody is having cancer, he has a bad spirit, and the society will either kill him or pull him out of the society. But now that we know that it's a disease, it's just like somebody having malaria or whatever, people are no more killed. But the scientific progression in the development will oblige the patients to have means. Because if you are a physician and you want to put your small means in the treatment of the patient, then you will not have what you'll put in your children's food. The patient obviously should look for means. And the machines that are used, like in radiotherapy, one linear accelerator is around 2 billion. And the maintenance of that unit is about 20 million per month. If you have to put 20 million per month just for the maintenance of this machine, of course, where will you find them? That's why treatments cost heavily, and that's our problem. That's why we are arguing now with our youth to try to do some research for those who are not able to take complete modern medical treatment. What can we propose them when there is no money? That's what we are trying to do now.
And nutrition also plays a great role in cancer prevention and also treatment. Once again, Professor Sone Muele expatiates on the nutritional aspect of cancer.
Cancer, when it's not showing itself maybe by pains, heavy pains somewhere, bleeding, and so on and so forth, they will not go to the hospital. Do have normal life. Eat. You know, we have everything in our soil. When you receive tablets coming from somewhere, it's because they have taken some, in the nature, they have taken and they have transformed it in tablets. Eat what Papa God told you, that you were created here. You have beans. Eat beans. Eat good food like that. That will help to prevent from cancer. Don't smoke. Don't smoke, because the money that you are using to smoke, we have made the calculations that somebody who has started smoking when he's 20 years old, when he's 40 years old, is likely to have cancer either of the lungs or of the larynx. And we see how they are evolving. So, I mean, when people have heard that and they say, oh, okay, well, I'll not, that's the problem.
That was Professor Moele Sonne speaking there to our reporter Innocent Ase. He is an oncologist at the Cameroon Oncology Center here in Douala. And viewers, on that note, we put an end to this edition of the news. Thank you so much for always being with us. Our programs continue. Equinoxe would be yours at 7 p.m. and the news in the French language comes up at 8 p.m. And God willing, we will be together again tomorrow, same time. For now, it's bye-bye from us.